What's up everybody, this is Scott. Welcome back to another video. Well, in my Pixel Mania week that has been this week, this is the Pixel 4a, which is where you see right there, and the Pixel 4 XL. This is a side-by-side comparison, just like I've done all my other videos. I'm gonna flip-flop the audio back and forth. I'm filming in the native camera app. I'm filming right now front-facing camera, 1080p on both of those bad boys. So everything that you see here is basically everything that you get. So at first glance, again, no post-production or anything like that, both of them look pretty good. Overall in the 4A, I'm really impressed with the fact that the video has gotten so much better, especially when it comes to having more crispy audio. Now the 4XL, of course, is its older sibling or cousin or anything like that. So in this video, I want to talk about photos and videos, side-by-side comparison. I'm going to shoot everything on both of the phones, and maybe just a little bit of in studio. And yeah, now this is the stabilization. Again, rear facing 4K, 30 frames a second. Using a Switchpod right now to see exactly what the stabilization looks like. I got my elbow tucked into my side, so nothing too crazy, not holding it out in front of me or anything like that. But yeah, this is what the stabilization looks like. Both actually look pretty smooth overall. So now I'm going to move over here and kind of walk uphill and see what the stabilization looks like. Again, I'm not going to run because that's crazy talk because I'm a big guy and I don't run, but I am walking uphill. Grass is pretty tall, so I got to pick up my hands or my feet. Pick up my feet as I walk through this grass. You can kind of hear it, but this is what the stabilization looks like. Now, this is what the stabilization looks like. This is 1080p at 60 frames a second, walking in the same grass as I was before. But this is that side-by-side comparison. You can see kind of the fluidity that is the 60 frames a second, bouncing back and forth between the audio on the 4A and then also the video between 4A and the 4XL as well. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Again, overall 60 frames a second, it's nice and smooth. Okay, now some of the next things that I want to do is actually go down here by the water and take some shots, do side-by-side comparisons, try the portrait mode so you can see what the difference is between the two cameras. I gotta be honest with you, I've been using the 4A for a couple months at this point, and the only thing that I miss out of my 4XL is literally just the screen real estate size. The 4A, from a video and a photo perspective, man, it is really, really close. So let me show you exactly some of these shots and what I mean when I say it's really close between the two phones. So let me tell you, one thing I've definitely grown to love with the 4A is the fact that the battery life is so good. It's a lot like the 3A and the 3A XL last year, whereas everybody knows that on the Pixel 4, the battery life was mad, definitely in the smaller version, but in the bigger version, the 4XL, it was tolerable. The 4A is a much smaller footprint. It's actually roughly the same size of the 3A, the smaller version last year, but you get damn near all the same benefits that you get out of the 4XL. So its older cousin, the 4XL, kind of gets put by the wayside. I mentioned it before, really the only thing that I miss in the 4A is the real estate size of the screen. But honestly, you don't really lose that much because 4A actually has that little tiny cutout, like the punch hole in the upper left-hand corner, and you really don't miss the real estate that much. The only time that I really notice it is when it's watching like media. So if I'm watching YouTube videos and I have the 4XL beside me, but then I have the 4A, I definitely get drawn towards the 4XL because again, it's just a bigger screen. But the 4A is the thing that I pick up the most battery life literally all day, and I use the Holy Spirit out of it, and I have no issues at all. Now, I could sit here and tell you the obvious things, like there's certain chips and all this other jazz, but one thing that Google's done really well is the fact that they can fully maximize the hardware by their really elite version when it comes to software. So you've seen what they've been able to do with the Pixel 1, the Pixel 2 when it comes to just a single lens, and there is a single lens shooter on the 4A, but as you can see in a lot of these video and photo shots, it does more than enough against its dual camera older cousin or brother in the 4XL. So yeah, even though it only has a single lens, it has the ability to do some magical stuff. And as you can see right here, everything that you see is filmed directly in the native app. I'm doing no post-processing, no nothing. So everything you see in the 4XL and everything that you see in the 4A is exactly what it is. It is more than enough for definitely the average consumer. And I would also say most tech YouTubers to use the 4A as a daily driver. It has been my daily driver for more than 2 months at this point. And like I had mentioned before in the video, the only reason I miss my 4XL is simply the screen real estate. It's just a bigger phone with a bigger screen. But every single thing else in the 4A has pretty much won me over. I still get all the great photos and videos from the Pixel experience, get a fantastical battery life compared to the 4XL. And I have a smaller phone in my pocket. Even though I'm not a small phone person, I can definitely see the appeal for something like this. So at the end of the day, which one do I recommend if I were going to choose? Well, to be completely honest, the price point alone puts me at the 4A because it's a phenomenal price. But do you really get that many benefits by going to the bigger version or the older version of the 4XL over the now new version of the mid-price, mid-tier phone of the 4A? Honestly, I'm picking the 4A. The battery life is just so good. I basically get the same benefits of the camera that I do on the 4XL, which is kind of like the Pixel thing. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the 4A because it's just, for me, it's perfect. The portrait mode is still the king of all portrait modes, and now the video is so much better compared to definitely the iPhone SE. Is it iPhone Pro Max? No, but it's definitely the best I've seen on a Pixel by far. And it gets me really excited for the fact that if the Pixel 5 is based off on this, I'm excited to see what the Pixel 5 has to offer when the time comes for that. So that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below. See you next time.